Welcome back. What are we up to? What was that about, indeed? Is Rika-chan training for a competition or something? Oh, that's right, we were talking about the Watanagashi festival. Watanagashi. Rika-chan is a shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. It's practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First of all, what is this Watanagashi? Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? Last, what do you mean by ritual dance? Huh? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Kei-chan? Wasn't it written there? The Watanagashi festival is this Sunday. Huh? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mum did say something about it during dinner the other day. The Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see. But Watanagashi sounds like a pretty strange name for it. Is it something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? Oh, I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan. The Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift. Sounds like some sort of racing cotton. Festival is, as the name implies, where we set cotton adrift down the river. The cotton, you see, is from futons or jackets. So it'd be something like a futon memorial. They also pile futons up on the altar. I've heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or kitchen knives to their ancestors or to casualties of war, but an offering of futons is a first for me. What's the history behind that? Mion tilted her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. These things just happen. The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess. Ah, I see. In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons that took care of you during the winter then. Then, the shrine maiden holds a memorial service for them and set them adrift. That's what the Watanagashi is. Mion and Lena indicated that I had the correct answer with a round of applause. And then everyone clapped. And you see? That shrine maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan. Oh? So Rika-chan is a shrine maiden. Now that you mention it, Rika-chan does have a mystical air about her. Right. Rika-chan in a shrine maiden outfit. How? So cute. It certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. I finally get what you're saying. Rika-chan's training is for her performance as a shrine maiden then. That would be it. The shrine maiden has to purify a number of futons as part of the ceremony. It's practice for that. It's a lot of hard work. Presumably. The shrine maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite. And it's really heavy. For Rika-chan. There's a joke in there. Well, Rika-chan is pretty small. Exactly how heavy is that hoe? Not as much as your mom. It's pretty heavy. Enough that Rika-chan has been practicing with a mochi mallet. They wrote that very specifically that way. Wait a minute. That's way too heavy. Forget about Rika-chan, that'd be rough even for me. It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. Just like your mom. If she dropped it by accident, it'd be big trouble. Well, it's a once-a-year kind of deal. All we can do is cheer from the sidelines. It'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Really? Then the least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? I was rather curious about exactly how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika-chan will get all cute and won't be able to practice. I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying. No, me neither. You see, Rika-chan doesn't like showing people how hard she works, okay? So just leave her be. Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times where she sweats while giving it her all. She must be playing Dead by Daylight. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. It's not like I couldn't understand that feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Do your best. Rika Hurure. I'm cheering for you. Just normal things that normal people say. Well then, I climbed up onto the pipe and plopped down on my side. Plop. Hooray! Hooray! Rika-chan! In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now. Meditative. Same. So, you're just going to sleep after all. Kapow. Indeed. The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. These things happen. I might have gorged myself a bit too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes. Ahahaha. Keiichi-kun, you had an amazing appetite today. Basically, you always eat like a pig. Mion always tells it how it is. But today was on a whole different level. Yesterday I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. We've all been there. Ahahaha, I get you. But really, Kei-chan, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even down to the last grain of rice. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating it, you know? If you leave any behind, it's rude to the person who put in all that effort. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Kei-chan, really? At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious. Lots of big words there. Well disciplined, or something like that. Ah, yeah, then I think so too. Keiichi-kun is a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. I just wanted to say that there's a big gap between your appearance and your personality. Wait, what? Just tossing that shade everywhere today. And I'm saying that's not a compliment. Hey, Sonozaki-san, Mayabaru-kun, we're in the middle of class. How far did you get, Sonozaki-san? Bring your notes up here. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy-to-understand utterance. She was so enthralled in the conversation, she had stopped working completely. Doing all right. Stars. You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grade, so you have to shape up. That Mion, it looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard. I'm sorry, what? That whole sentence is really weird. What? Appearances can be deceiving, in other words. Actually, appearance might be the opposite of reality. Oh god, they're word salading again. They're English words, but they don't make sense. You say some interesting things, exactly. Responding to Nena's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika-chan. Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If we went by what Lena literally said, then that would be the case. Where did this topic of conversation come from? It actually came out of nowhere. What? I'm so confused. It's like the whiplash has just snapped my neck. I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale. Satoko-chan's been rude lately, but just a while ago she was pretty different. She acted really spoilt and always... Yep. Keep this a secret from Satoko-chan, okay? Stars. That Satoko, acting so cute. For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have to be part of some calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Satoko. Is that how you pronounce that? Wait, what? Where did that conversation come from? What? I'm so confused. Hey, Satoko? What is it? Oni-sama? Stars. Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason, I took 3 steps away. Oni-sama? Why are you running away? Sorry, Satoko. For you to approach me with such an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some sort of trap. It's a trap. That's so mean. Oni-sama, you meanie. Sorry. I didn't intend to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Why is this getting really weird? Click. Clank. Huh? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down on by jagged metal teeth. Trapper strikes again. A trap. You stepped in it. I came. Oh, you fell for it. Now for the next part. Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after another. Oh no, he's got the iridescent add-on. Suddenly, the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. What am I reading? And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurtling towards me. On top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me, was a giant guillotine. Yes, these things happen. Okay. Understandable. I'm not really sure, but Keiichi-kun, you're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Not really. Not at all. That's a lie. The smile on her face. You've got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm going to be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. I mean, don't we all think about these things from time to time? How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? Sorry, imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. What? Who talks like that? Actually doesn't make any sense. Next, I looked over at Rika-chan, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me saying, Oni-sama, stars, I'd hug her. That's weird. Ew. No. Keiichi-kun, you're drilling. Oh. No. Gross. Sorry. Then how about Rika-chan? I'm actually disgusted. Are you saying that her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika-chan really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she really was quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it? Evading things deftly. I get the feeling that Rika-chan isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but then I managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika-chan grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty with men wrapped all round her little finger. She's like 10. Can we stop? Don't you think that would be cool? No, she's like 10. Then I said that lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. I'm not laughing either. The scary part about that was that it felt like it could be true. Oh, it's weird. Stop. Noticing my gaze, Rika-chan turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Nena and I, feeling as if that was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. How did he know that her heart skipped a beat? Oh, so cute. So cute. Stars. Nena, your nose is bleeding. Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well then, what about our dear leader Mion? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Denna's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion also had a side of her that belied appearances. Dots. Then, what you're saying is, that Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person. Mi-chan is a good person. Oh, well, that is true. But what I'm trying to say is... Yep, I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi-kun. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Nenna smiled even more brightly. Know what? Mi-chan is mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Nenna said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or a girl specifically, but a friend of the same gender. What does any of that mean? If she were a guy, we'd probably be like two peas in a pod. Although that's the same way it is right now. Ahahaha. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Okay, Nenna, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. Jeez, I'm just trying to have a serious conversation, you know? Nenna began to pout. Now probably wasn't the right time to joke around. Mi-chan is the club president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody. But she's really a very cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Nenna's gaze focused off into the distance beyond where Mion was. The Mion that I met at Angel Mort was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job. It was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did so not as Mion, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly? Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. Heh. As if to say it was our little secret, Nenna held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free of the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school is enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. That sounds painful. Mion was actually really feminine. Right. I wonder if I can meet Shion again. Ha, I'm sure you will. I wanted to talk to her again. Clang clang. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. The teacher rushed back to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments. Whoa! It looks like there's going to be a lot of homework today. Gotta buckle down. Well then, that means even Nenna. Huh? What do you mean? Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you too? Huh? Ah. Keiichi-kun, how do you see me? How? The Nenna Ryugu that I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle, ideal girl. Really? Then that makes me happy, I guess. If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her. And if I were really the opposite? Just try saying it. I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Nenna is... Nenna is... even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Nenna, right? This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. Maybe it was because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that took a strange amount of effort. That's no fair, Keiichi-kun. It bothers me when you say it that way. How? Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Nenna's face began to burn red with embarrassment. Nenna, Kei-chan, let's go home. Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Best time of the day. Whenever school is over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. Same. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing. What's the matter, Kei-chan? The key to my house I always carry around is gone. Man, where did I lose it? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. That sure is troublesome. Did you forget it somewhere? Or did you drop it? Which one was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? Huh? Kei-chan, did that key have anything that would make it stand out? Yeah, it's on a keychain. It was a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago. Huh. Does it have its eyes shut, like it's taking a nap? Oh? How did you know? Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. See, you went for dinner at Angel Mort a couple of days ago, right? That night the staff found a key, and there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered and added that Shion had told her about it. Huh? So I dropped it then. How did he only just notice it now? But aren't you glad they found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you. That's right. Why don't you go? Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. This was a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet with Shion. How convenient. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of Mion, might be interesting. Half jokingly, I began to think about things like this. Right. Angel Mort, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea. Nice spot of tea. You sound like an English gentleman. That totally doesn't suit you, Kei-chan. All the shade. Is this the restaurant? The one that Mi-chan's little sister is working at? Yeah, why don't we go together, Nena? Sorry to disappoint you, but I have plans with my father today. Some other time. Nena seemed pretty disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity. You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike? Enough to mistake which is which? Yeah, they're totally the same. At least on the outside. Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and really cute though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mion's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. Or are they? After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Just thinking that I would be able to meet Shion again gave me a mysterious feeling. Shion, a name for a different kind of Mion. She was a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she had fooled everyone like that. I noticed that I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be that I was looking forward to meeting Shion? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was headed towards a new friend's house for the first time. What Lena said about Mion actually being really feminine sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on another side of Mion, the self-consciousness from being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings mixed together. That was Shion for you. Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion, it was fine to just call her Shion, right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. As I reached the top of the steep hill, the horizon expanded before me. I was almost at the station. The last time I wasn't embarrassed since I was here with Dad, but this time I was alone. I was strangely self-conscious about it. Meet Shion, get my key back. That was all this task was supposed to be. If I dawdled around like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. Hey, what are you doing, Keiichi Mayabara? You're just here to get your key back, you know? It's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. The thoughts inside my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. Slowly, I came to the realization that I was downright giddy. That's why, for just a bit, just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. These things happen. It was in the way, sure, but there was absolutely no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got too carried away. Thunk, clack. Crash. As the 3 bikes toppled one after another like dominoes, the loud noise they caused snapped me back to my senses. Oh, the hell you think you're doing? The owners of those 3 bikes were right there. They looked exactly what you'd call thugs, up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner and yelled angrily in a way I'd never heard before. The 3 of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. What? I could only stare listlessly, as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. All of that is very strangely described. By the time I had realized it, I had been grabbed by the collar and lifted onto my tiptoes. Dumb be playing dumb. You knocked him over, didn't ya? Huh? The 3 thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar. Indeed. But the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. Just like that, my composure drained away. My legs buckled and my throat grew dry enough to crack. I'm sorry, I accidentally... Accident my ass? You kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? I was completely at fault, so there was nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled even higher. The hell, man? The paint's all scuffed. Yo, brat, who put you up to this, eh? This is your goddamn fault. The 3 of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them was saying. Getting further enraged that I was only listening while dumbstruck, they grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against a telephone pole. Wait, I've seen this in Yakuza. Cracks formed in the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. They then slammed it full force onto the shuttered storefront. Yes, these things happen. Smash! The shutter let out a frighteningly loud noise. Still not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans, scattering its contents all over the place. This was not normal. It was something you saw often on television or in manga, but I never thought seeing it in person would be this terrifying. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only held up by such a frail concept as morals. That's deep, bro. My knees clattered together noisily. Static began to pepper my vision. This is what you would call absolute terror. There was nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Would somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. I was surrounded by these 3 hoodlums. No way would there be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this was what you call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there would be no doubt that I'd ignore what was going on. So this was somewhat of a cosmic retribution. What is going on? Fu King say something. Same. I'll Fu King stab ye. angry yelling loud enough to rattle my eardrums spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcefully dragged back to the forefront. The thug had cocked back his free hand and twisted his body when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut as tightly as possible and grit my teeth. You're making quite the racket, you stupid pieces of trash. And that is the perfect spot to end this week's episode. Let's find out who our mysterious savior is next week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That got really weird at the end there. Anyway, I'll see you guys again next week. See ya.